pagebuildersummit.com is the place to be. Head over to there. We've got our waiting list currently open. The event takes place between the 12th and the 16th of May. So it's a week-long event. So the videos will be published each day. Those sessions will be freely available for 48 hours after the initial publication. So this is an open event to anybody to participate and to consume the content. So really best place to head to is pagebuildersummit.com.
Excellent. And I think it sounds like the key word in there is free.
Yes.
Yep, totally free. That's exactly
and we make these things free thanks to our sponsors, and Kinsta very kindly joined on board. So thank you very much for being part of that.
Hey everybody, it's Roger with Kinsta. Today I'm joined by a couple of new friends, Nathan and Dan. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey Roger, nice to see you.
All right, Roger, nice to see you as well.
Excellent. All right, so we've got an agenda here today. We have the Page Builder Summit is coming up very soon, and we want to hype this thing up. We want everybody to attend it because what we all need to do is learn more about how to use our page builders better and more efficiently. But before we dive into all of that, can I just get a quick introduction? Who are you guys? Nathan, let's start with you. Let us know who you are.
Okay, my name's Nathan Wrigley. I live in the UK. I've been using WordPress for about, 10, 15 years, something like that, and making content, mostly audio content, so podcasts in the WordPress space since 2016.
Excellent.
And I'm Dan Maby, similar I'm UK based, been in the WordPress space for more than 15 odd years now. Been delivering the WPLDN events in central London for I think 13 of those years. I've been very community focused. That tends to be where my heart is at within the WordPress space.
Excellent. All right, so diving in here, Page Builder Summit. How did this thing come about?
So Page Builder Summit, you can find it, by the way, at pagebuildersummit.com. I was making loads of content in the WordPress space, podcasts and things like that. Wasn't really getting into the video side of things, and noticed that a few people were experimenting in the WordPress space with creating online events. And I thought, I should give this a bit of a go. And so reached out to somebody who isn't on this call, but who is an integral part of the Page Builder Summit. Her name is Anshin LaRue. She's from South Africa, but currently living in New Zealand. She had experience of putting online events together in the WordPress space. She was doing a variety of different summits for clients. And so I said, should we give a summit a go? And just sort of hit upon the idea because it was all the rage back then. Page builders were sort of growing in popularity. Elementor had come into the space. Beaver Builder was there. There was Divi and all of the others. And they were kind of in the ascendancy. So we decided to focus it around helping people to improve the speed at which they do things and come up with other ideas, not necessarily to do with the UI and UX of a page builder, but around marketing and SEO and running a small agency, those kind of things. And so that's how the idea came along. And we're now on event number 8. We've done a few years where we've done a couple, but most years we just sort of run one.
Excellent. All right. So Dan, how did you get involved with all this?
So events have been a passion of mine, supporting the WordPress community through delivering events. We delivered the WordPress Live multiple times, which was an online 24-hour conference, and chatting with Nathan, Anshin, what they're doing, we just decided that this is something that fits right in my wheelhouse. This is something that I enjoy, bring the community together. This event tend to be more sort of back of house for this particular event. So as Nathan mentioned, it's predominantly Nathan and Anshin that are sitting out there at the forefront and really driving this event. But it's something that just bringing the community together and enabling educational content that does really support growth within the community is something I'm very passionate about.
I love it. And I love the idea with virtual events. You don't have to get in a car, on a train, or a plane. You can just log in and here you are. But, on the flip side, I know a lot of people, and I'm a little guilty of this too, when I go to a virtual event, I'll be like, I'll have it on in the background, I'll do my other work, and I kind of miss out on it. And so is there anything unique to the Page Builder Summit where it's really keeping people engaged and getting them to really pay attention and learn some things?
Well, so we actually consciously went for a more lo-fi approach because back when we began, we kind of figured that, if you want to do interaction, if you want to chat with people, you're going to go to the real world events. So we decided to make the content itself the center of everything. So rather than trying to simulate an online event, and especially, do you remember during COVID, all these platforms came along where they kind of tried to fake being in a room, and so you had a UI with chairs on it and little icons of faces would go into chairs and you'd be in this room, and it was all just kind of fairly contrived. We just don't go for that. Our entire enterprise is to encourage people to go consume the content, and then we've done all sorts of things in the past, like we have a dedicated Facebook group with many thousands of people in there, and we hold conversations in there. We have in the past kind of encouraged the speakers to be live in a sort of an in-person chat, and this time around we're doing that more async. But then we sort of gamify it a little bit by having things like a bingo competition where we give everybody a bingo card, and then depending on how many things you manage to tick off during the course of the week, like I attended a live event, I did this, I did that, and so on and so forth, then you can win prizes. And another way that we keep the audience engaged is the speakers. As a part of the speaker onboarding process, we ask them to dig deep and find something in their business that they can offer to our audience. And so the audience can have a part of that. And one of the things is giveaways. So we do a bunch of giveaways during the event, and they're kind of like more pop-up. We come up with some question that might be, somebody has to answer it immediately, and then they win a prize and those kind of things. But the main purpose of it is to drive people to the actual content, consume the content, communicate with the speaker. We're just the conduit, really. So we're just introducing speaker A to audience member A. And then really the idea is that, you've enjoyed what they're doing, you take it offline and, communicate with them in whatever way you see fit.
I love it. And I like this idea of staying just focused on the content. And Dan, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, I was just going to say, and it just leading into that around the content, it's about making that content freely available for the attendees to consume at any point over that first initial 48 hours of delivering the content. So we're not constraining the attendee to a specific time to consume that content. So I appreciate we're a global community, so it can be quite challenging. We had it multiple times with these sort of online conferences. How do you create an event that caters for that global community in terms of time zones? And of course, we're in this situation where we're delivering our content that can be consumed at any point in that initial 48 hours once it's been released.
Yeah, that's another good point. So everything that we have is pre-recorded. And so this is not to, sort of denigrate the offerings from other people doing their own events, but quite a few people do it live. And so you get the live version. Well, we've gone for the pre-recorded version. And the theory behind that really is let the presenter work on it in whatever way they like, and hopefully get the best version of what it is that they want to say. So there's no, they don't have to get it right in that 40-minute interval. And if they get derailed, then the whole presentation suffers, or if they miss a slide, they've kind of wasted a minute or what have you. So we've been in contact with the speakers for many, many weeks, many months in some cases. And so they've had a long, long time to finesse and get everything perfect. In some cases, we've had people submit their presentation and then realize they thought they could do a better job. So they've asked to have it back, and then they've gone and re-recorded it, done it again. And in that way, hopefully you get the best version. And as Dan says, you can just play it for 48 hours, just watch it over and over again, or just sort of come back when you're ready,
That's wonderful. And I'm preparing for a presentation next week, and I've been recording it and then listening to it. And it's so useful to do that. As far as the speakers go, can you give us any teaser of either who's speaking or at least the topics that are going to be hit upon?
Yeah, so probably the easiest thing, if anybody is listening to this, it really depends when you arrive on the website, because we modify the website as we get closer in time. I'll give you an introduction of what's on the website at the moment. So if you go to pagebuildersummit.com, how it stands at the moment is we've got a list of the great and the good, the people who are contributing. So I'll just read some of the names which are coming up as I see them. So Jamie Marsland, he's going to be talking about the 3 big existential threats to WordPress. Josh Hall is going to be joining us. He's going to be talking about Divi 5, which is getting an update. Then we are also, excuse me, for some reason my browser window just closed on me there. There we go.
I'm particularly
We've got Sarah Maskey talking about increasing your rates over time. We've got Peach Neri, who's a UI UX person. She's going to be talking about data visualization. Shannon Matern offering paid discovery, how you might go and do that. Nicole Osborne, best kept secrets for Magnet. I actually don't know what that is, but that's what's there. We've got my good good friend David Wormsley, he's going to be talking about intrinsic design. Maciek Polmowski about the 1,000 plugins and how they launched 1,000 different things inside of a month. And the list goes on. We've got 35 speakers on there. I could go on, but there's just a few that are right near the top of that page.
So that's wonderful. So I think what we can count on is a wide variety of topics, a wide variety of speakers. Give us some details. We're kind of wrapping things up here. I like to keep these short and sweet. Give us some details. We said May 12th. How do people sign up? How do they get more information?
Do you want to go with that, Dan?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, pagebuildersummit.com is the place to be. Head over to there. We've got our waiting list currently open. Join the waiting list. You'll be notified of information as we release it. The event takes place between the 12th and the 16th of May. So it's a week-long event. So as we mentioned, the videos will be published each day. Sessions will be published each day. Those sessions will be freely available for 48 hours after the initial publication. So this is an open event to anybody to participate and to consume the content. So really best place to head to is pagebuildersummit.com.
Excellent. And I think it sounds like the key word in there is free.
Yes.
Yep, totally free. 48 hours after the content drops, you can watch it for free. That's exactly
and we make these things free thanks to our sponsors, and Kinsta very kindly joined on board. So thank you very much for being part of that.
Well, we're happy to be a part and happy to support all this. We've obviously got a ton of sites that we host that use these various page builders. And so anything we can do to help our customers utilize those better is obviously a win-win for everybody all around. You mentioned a Facebook group before. Is that the primary method for participants to communicate with each other, or what's, where are the conversations really happening?
Yeah, so we do tend to sort of drill down a little bit on that. We're kind of not 100% sure about whether or not we're going to have other different ways of communicating on this particular event. But yeah, definitely there is a Facebook group. I think it's something in the region of 3,000 members, something along those lines, maybe a little bit north or south of that, but that's where my memory tells me the numbers are. And it really comes alive. We put it to sleep. We can sort of hibernate a group. Facebook encouraged that. If you have a group which has got no participation, and obviously between summits we don't do much with it, so we hibernate it and then we bring it back to life just before the summit. We genuinely get quite a lot of interaction in there. Each of the speaker presentations will have its own dedicated post, but there'll be quizzes and tips and tricks and just sort of general introduction. But also we have an upsell, which people will learn about if they join the waitlist. And if you join that, you can become a part of some live networking sessions as well. And we all just hop on a Zoom call and have a theme for each of those. And they're good fun. They're really nice, actually.
Excellent. All right. So to wrapping things up here, if somebody wants to get in touch with either of you two, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Go, Dan.
So for me, pretty much anything /Dan Maby. That's Maby. I'm on most of the socials, less active on X these days, but yeah, it is out there, the account, should you want to get a hold of me.
Excellent. And for me, the primary place I'm using these days is Blue Sky, and I am at nathanwrigley.com, and I'm also using X still, and I'm at UP Builds, and DMs are open on both of those.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Page Builder Summit, May 12th to 16th. Free, FREE. There's no excuse not to participate in it. Go sign up, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.
Roger.
Thank you very much,
Roger.
so much. Take it easy.